YouTube world, back at it once again. Instant Classic 8. I just want to come on here, talk to you guys for a second. Uh, Going back to last year, last March, April. Obviously, I attended. Well, I don't know if it's obvious or not, but I attended WrestleMania 28 down in Miami. And normally, when I go on the WrestleMania trips, I do the preview video. I go and post a bunch of videos, and I do my review or my overall thoughts of the whole weekend. That time during WrestleMania, my laptop was completely out of commission, and I was unable to do any type of videos. And like a WrestleMania video, it's going to be pretty long. I mean, it's going to be close to probably like an hour's worth of talk. I mean, I know when I did the Atlanta trip, it was about an hour long of talking. Miami, we did a whole lot more, so I definitely could have spoken, more than an hour. And there's no way I could have done it on my phone and been able to upload it. That would have just been too much. So, just kind of skipped it, never really talked about it. But we're coming into WrestleMania season, as we all like to call it. So, I just want to give my thoughts on a few things. As far as WrestleMania, this whole thing is going to be about WrestleMania, past, present, future. As far as when it goes to the past, just my thoughts on last year's trip overall. Definitely the best time I ever had. Miami was so awesome. That city was just fantastic. The weather was great. I had a lot of fun with friends. We just had a ball down there. And WrestleMania weekend, I've said this the past, few years, it's just something that needs to be experienced. I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, you have to experience WrestleMania weekend. Whether you're the biggest WWE fan or you just don't really care for it, you want to go down there to go to Access, the Hall of Fame, or you want to go to the ROH shows, the Dragon Gate shows, everything that they have down there, it's just something that needs to be experienced. And I would highly recommend everyone, if you haven't been to one, go, for sure. If you've already been to one, hey, go to another one. Phoenix was an awesome trip. I really had fun. And, being in that stadium for WrestleMania, it was, electricity and an atmosphere like I've never experienced. Come back again the next year. I've had the same goosebumps at WrestleMania 27 when I was in the Georgia Dome. The same goosebumps, the same feeling, just the overall joy that you feel when you're in that place can't be touched. Come back again to this past year, WrestleMania 28. The same thing, the atmosphere, just all the fans. I mean, 70,000 plus people in that building. They're all here to see one thing, and everyone's enjoying it. I mean, it's awesome. I love it. Miami, the trip. I mean, the fact that we got to do so much stuff that wasn't wrestling oriented. We got down there on the Thursday, and a couple buddies of mine, Josh and LV and Big Rat and our friend Brian, they went to a NWA show, which I don't think they've run WrestleMania weekend at all, but they were down there in Florida, so they ran a show down there. They went to that. Me and Nightmare 10, me and Phil, we went to a Miami Heat game, which was freaking awesome. I had a great time there. Never been to a Miami Heat game. That stadium, the arena that was in, fantastic. I know a lot of people got to experience that at the Hall of Fame and at Raw, but as far as when it comes to the Miami Heat game, it was a lot of fun. Fast forward the next night, we got to go to the beach. We hung out down on the strip. And the good thing is, and shout outs to my buddy Brian, we stayed right on the strip of Miami. I'm talking about when you think South Beach. I think Josh said this in his video. When you think South Beach, that's where we stayed. We were like 2 blocks down from, and I never watched the show, but we saw it, like 2 blocks down from the ice cream or gelatin shop that they had on oh god, what's the name of the show with Snooki and Jay Wild, Jersey Shore. Yeah, we stayed like 2 blocks down from there, so we were in the heart of everything. We were on the beach. It was fantastic. The best weather ever. I think it rained like one time down there for like 10 minutes. Other than that, gorgeous weather. You got to wear a t-shirt and shorts. Beautiful women, just cars everywhere. It was just awesome. We got to go to the ROH show that night. The ROH shows, that, and then Saturday afternoon, they weren't the greatest, to be honest with you. I know my buddies, they had a ball. And I had a good time, especially that first show. It was really fun. Just quality matches, but it just kind of felt different than the past few. At least, I know the Atlanta show that I went to was incredible, but this one was still really good. The Saturday show, it was a mess. It really was a mess. They had the brownout. They just had, matches that just really didn't click together. But then they ended the show with one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in person, and even all over, Davey Richards versus Michael Elgin, which was just tremendous. I think 5-star match for sure. It was excellent. We got to go to Dragon Gate. I know a few of my buddies, they went to Hall of Fame, got to see Edge go in. We went to Dragon Gate, had a good time there, got to meet some people. I never mentioned that, the night before, Friday, after the ROH show, we got to hang out at this bar. Me and my buddies, we hung out with freaking Yaya 88, Assault and Battery. Who else was there? Man on Fire, Stevie Breach. It was just a ball just to hang out with everybody. We were all at the bar. It was like 12 of us, and we just had a ball, man. That night, like I said, we went to Dragon Gate. They put on a great show. I had a good time. We got to go to $5 wrestling. That was pretty cool. Just being able to see a bunch of wrestlers throughout the night. Getting to see drunk Mickey James. That was pretty awesome. But just that whole, time down there, being able to go to those shows, go and see everything that they have there. It was fantastic. Sunday morning rolls around, we go to Wrestle Reunion, just like the year before. We got to see all the stars, got to interact with them, got a few autographs, a few pictures, got to spend a little bit on merchandise. I know Phil spent a hell of a lot of money on there. But, this is a one time a year thing, so definitely, why wouldn't you splurge on that? Got to go to WrestleMania that night in the Sun Life Stadium, 70,000 people, 70,000 plus people. Yes, Daniel Bryan got beaten 18 seconds. Yes, we had to sit through Kane and Randy Orton. Yes, we had to sit through the Terrible Divas match. But, we got to see an incredible Hell in a Cell with Triple H and Undertaker, which, at first I was in my seat, but I think that spot with the super kick and the pedigree, that's just unreal. The atmosphere was just completely unreal. You got to see Rock and Cena, which was by itself just, I won't say, it was a great match. I enjoyed it. It was really good, but the whole atmosphere being there, it was cool. And seeing The Rock come out on top, really fun. Awesome trip. Now, that was WrestleMania last year. Of course, we're rolling around to WrestleMania 29, going to be in the MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Personally, I'm not going. I'm not going to go this year. A few reasons. One, at least right now, I'm not super hyped on the show. I have no problem with John Cena versus The Rock. Obviously, The Rock has his match with CM Punk, but it's going to be John Cena and The Rock. I have no problem with it. But don't really need to see it again, personally, at least in person. They're going to do Brock and Triple H probably. Don't really need to see that. Don't know what Punk's going to do. I don't know. I'm not really feeling the show. And then, another reason is these WrestleMania trips have always been, at least for my year, my big vacation that I take off from work. I take off 2 weeks, enjoy myself. This has always been my vacation. Phoenix was cool. Great weather, great time, my first time hanging out with everybody. Atlanta was cool city, got to eat great food, had a ball. Miami, of course, I explained, just an incredible city. And then we kind of roll around to New Jersey, which I'm not down on anybody. I know Bobby's probably mad, but I'm not down on anybody from New Jersey, but it's just not a destination spot when it comes to a vacation. Mainly begin, if you've been to Jersey, you know how it is. Even though it's New York / New Jersey. I've been to New York plenty of times. I go there all the time. And I can tell you right now, it's more of a hassle than anything. Especially when you have traffic and you have to worry about transportation. And it's too much going on. You can't really relax when you go to New York City. It's an incredible city. I love the atmosphere, everything about it. But you just can't really enjoy yourself when you go there. And I don't feel that can be my vacation that I take for the year. So I'm not gonna go. I'm more than content. I'm gonna be cool. I've got myself excited from watching old WrestleMania videos, watching old actual WrestleMania, the pay-per-view itself. I got myself kind of hyped up, but I'll be cool. I'm cool with missing out on this show. Nothing really, unless they come out with Austin, which I highly doubt. I'm cool with missing this show. Another thing is, MetLife Stadium. We don't know how that's going to be in April. It could be cold as shit. It could be snowing. That's something I don't want to have to deal with, to be honest with you. So I am more than content. I know a lot of people in here are also not going. I have buddies that are going. I hope they have a great time. But personally, I just not really feeling this WrestleMania, to be honest with you. Now we're gonna go to the future. WrestleMania 30 next year, 2014. I don't want to say like I'm super old or to make the people that are older than me that are still going feel bad, but I just turned 26 2 days ago, and by the time WrestleMania 30 rolls around, I'll be 27, and you know that's fine. I can go there, but this isn't really something I can see myself doing every single year. Not right now. In the future, when I'm 35, I have kids. Maybe we'll see. Probably not. But in case it ever happens, my kids grow up to be wrestling fans. Hell yeah, I'll take them to WrestleMania. That'll be awesome. But personally, I don't really see myself going to WrestleMania every single year. I'm not gonna stop watching wrestling, but I don't see myself actually going to the shows like I've been doing in my past few years. With that said, WrestleMania 30, it's all but confirmed to be in New Orleans. I know a lot of people were saying they should go back to Madison Square Garden. First of all, okay, I have nothing wrong with Madison Square Garden. I mean, it's a little overrated, but I have no problem with MSG. One thing is you can't do all these all these stadium shows and then go down to the 19,000 to 20,000 seat arena. You just can't. I'm sorry. I know the prestige is there. I know the whole, every 10 years, the whole WrestleMania there. You can't do it. You just can't. Another thing is there will be how much sense would it make to do a stadium show in New Jersey, which New Jersey from East Rutherford from New York City, I mean, without traffic, it's like a 15-minute drive or some 20-minute drive. It's not that long at all. So, to have in the same, I mean, I know they did it back in the past, and that is the past. But now, in this day and age, where I'm not the only one, there are plenty of people. This is their vacation. They're not really going to come to the New York metropolitan area twice. This doesn't make much sense. So, there's no point for them to do this in Madison Square Garden. MSG can be there for the Rumbles. It can, SummerSlam will probably be in LA, but definitely like the Rumbles, maybe even Survivor Series, the big Raws. That'll be perfect, but WrestleMania, you just can't do it. So it's all but confirmed for New Orleans. Honestly, if they change their mind and go somewhere else, I mean, I'll have to come over here and make another video. But New Orleans, Mercedes-Benz Superdome is looking like the spot for WrestleMania 30. I know they probably have a little scare for everyone that saw the Super Bowl this past Sunday where they had the blackout during the game. That's something that WWE should definitely be concerned with just because of how much power they put into the building when producing the show. I don't know everything about it, to be honest with you, but just looking at it on TV, it looks like it costs a lot of money. They put a lot of power into that building, so definitely something to be concerned about. But I think at the end of the day, WWE will have everything under control. And even then, if there were something like a blackout, they'll keep the show going. They did it at WrestleMania 24. The lights cut out during the Divas match. They didn't stop working, and then the WWE Championship match, half the lights in the building were off. And give it some time, they all pop back on. So it's something to be concerned about, but I think they'll be fine. But either way, New Orleans is a destination spot that I've always wanted to go to. I do, of course, I'd love to travel overseas. I'd love to go up to Canada, to Toronto. That would be cool as well if they did it in Toronto. But there have been some destination spots that I've always wanted to go to, since being an adult. One of them has been Miami, which I've already accomplished. One has been Los Angeles, which I would one day get out there for a Laker game or even a SummerSlam, who knows. Another has been Las Vegas, just because it looks like the coolest city ever. And then another one has been New Orleans, just because New Orleans looks like a real, I wouldn't say party city, but like you can go down there and have a lot of fun. My buddy, I actually just texted him a minute ago, JR Sport Brief, he just came back from New Orleans for the Super Bowl. I know he's been down there for the Final Four, and of course he was there for the Super Bowl. And, he's told me some things about New Orleans, and he's saying it's not the greatest city in the world. They have their spots, but if you're just going on there for a few days, I mean, it's definitely worth it. So I'm looking forward to it. Definitely gonna get back in the groove after missing this year. Get back in the groove of planning and doing all my stuff for WrestleMania. And with this being WrestleMania 30, it's going to be a huge show. We all know it. It's going to be a huge show. With that said, I am really hoping that everyone can come to the show. All the people that we speak to on Twitter at The Real Classic, or even here on YouTube, we'll have people, one year they'll show up, the next year they're unable to come, or, this and that, problems arise. I'm really hoping with WrestleMania 30, and, it being in the center of the map on as far as the nation goes, as far as USA goes. You got people coming in from the West Coast, can come right down there in the middle. People like myself from the East Coast go there in the middle, and we can all meet together and just have like one, at least in my mind, one last hurrah. Just going in there, just having a great time, going to some great shows, enjoying company, enjoying wrestling. That's just what I am hoping for. But who knows? Like I said, maybe they'll pick somewhere else. I've always, I do think, I said definitely this will probably be like the last big trip as far as like, meeting up with people and everything. But who knows? I still want to go, when WrestleMania is held in Dallas Stadium, that's something I want to go to. If something else big comes along, and I end up going to Dallas Stadium, maybe I'll skip on a WrestleMania, maybe I'll go to like a UFC or something. But, it's definitely like WrestleMania 30 is feeling like it's going to be the last hurrah. And I don't like speaking out, before. I know we got WrestleMania 29. I know people out there are excited about going. By all means, if you're going, let me know. Have a ball. Just have the best time you can. It is like nothing else, but just looking forward. I am really excited about WrestleMania 30. I know people have said they're retired from going and this and that, but I hope that everybody shows up. That includes all you guys in New York, you guys down south, you guys in California and out there on the West Coast. Even the people down there, having people in Louisiana and Texas and everything. I hope everyone shows up, and that we can all just kind of have one big hurrah. That will be really, really cool. But who knows? That's next year. We have this year WrestleMania to talk about. Obviously, things are coming together. Elimination Chamber's coming up, looking like a fun pay-per-view. So we'll talk about that in the future. But until then, let me know what you think. Like I said, as far as WrestleMania, you got to go. You just have to go. Miami was just once in a lifetime trip. I'm laughing at myself because once in a lifetime was the tag, and of course we're getting once in a lifetime again. But it was a once in a lifetime trip, and Miami was awesome. And I was upset that everyone couldn't show up just because of how much fun it was. But like I said, WrestleMania 30, you have the opportunity to go in, and then WrestleMania 29 this year, you have the opportunity to go in, and then 30 next year, if it's held in New Orleans, it's just going to be a lot of fun. But that's a ways away. We'll worry about that then. Until then, let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts. Until then, I am Mr. Classic 8. Peace.